Is it just me, or is Taylor Swift recently inescapable?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift fans are being preyed on by scalpers.
And welcome to the Eras Tour. Waited in line for like 6 hours. Was the song that caused a literal shake in LA.
Taylor Swift officially made it to the Super Bowl.
Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's love story playing out on the field.
Okay, this is my 13th Grammy.
First, let's go back. Ever since Taylor was 9, she loved making and performing music. In 2006, at age 16, she signed a record deal with Big Machine Records. This record deal is going to be important later, so make a note of that. When she signed that record deal, she released her first album, creatively named Taylor Swift. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm not that big of a Taylor Swift fan. I've never really listened to her music. I mean, I know the hits, you know, like Shake It Off, Shake It Off. I mean, I know that one. Of course, everyone knows that one. I don't listen to her music, so I thought that I wouldn't really be doing my due diligence. I wouldn't really be in the weeds if I didn't listen to Taylor Swift. So to make sure that I actually know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna force myself to listen to literally every single Taylor Swift album ever made. And I'm gonna rank them. Oh boy, this is gonna get controversial real quick. I don't have a very good mindset going into this. When I'm going into this, I'm thinking this is gonna suck, you know, and I'm not expecting to enjoy this. I'm open-minded, okay? I'm willing to enjoy this, but I'm not expecting to enjoy this. So the first album is called Taylor Swift is the first album. It's 53 minutes. All right, let's rank the album called Taylor Swift. I'm gonna go ahead and rank this one pretty low because it is not for me. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna rank it a D tier. I'm gonna rank it a D tier. I don't think it was awful, but it's just not something that I would ever listen to myself ever again. For that reason, I'm giving it a D tier. I am optimistic. I'm open to enjoying her music in the future, but as of now, not for me, bro. Not for me. This was a country album, and it featured her song Tim McGraw, which was her first song to hit top 40. This was a strong start to Taylor's career. She then went on to release the album Fearless, which included the song You Belong With Me, which she made a music video for, and that ended up winning Best Video by a Female Artist. Now, when she went up on stage to accept her award, Kanye West, you know, being Kanye West, went on stage and took the mic out of her hand, basically just said that Beyonce deserved the award and that Taylor didn't.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
This hurt Taylor. She was a fan of Kanye. You know, at first she was excited. He was on stage. She knows Kanye. He's a massive icon. He's been super influential in music. And then he comes on stage and just basically says, you don't deserve this. She does. And she's like, dang, ouch. You know, that has to hurt. And this moment started a beef that Taylor Swift and Kanye have kind of had ever since. Fast forward to 2016, Kanye West was working on his song Famous, and in this song, he said the following: I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. Why? I made that bitch famous. Taylor came out after this song released and said that while she agreed to the lyrics, I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex because she thought it was funny, she did not approve, and she actually didn't like the lyric, I made that bitch famous, because he didn't make her famous. This event sparked a outburst of hate towards Taylor. Hashtag Taylor Swift is over party was trending on Twitter, which is such a stupid way to cancel someone. Like, sometimes it's right to cancel people. Sometimes people deserve to be canceled. In this case, I don't think Taylor Swift deserved to be deplatformed. Hashtag blank is over party is like so stupid. Who's tweeting that? Who's unironically tweeting hashtag Taylor is over party? You suck. Also, why would you try to cancel Taylor Swift here? Like, what'd she do? She just spoke out and said, I don't like this part. I agreed to this part. Didn't really like this line. And then everyone was like, you suck. You should die. And because Taylor had built all of her confidence on the people's approval since she was 16, now that she suddenly didn't have it, it broke her. Because of this event, she sort of decided to just vanish. She said in her Netflix documentary, no one physically saw me for a year. I thought that's what they wanted. All right, guys, it's like 5 a.m. right now. I'm going to the gym and I'm gonna listen to some Taylor Swift, though I don't really want to. I really just want to listen to the TMG podcast. All right, so now, Fearless. Alright, so I just finished listening to the second Taylor Swift album. I'm gonna be honest with you. At first, I wasn't enjoying this. And I'm gonna have to say that, to be honest, I'm still not enjoying this. I'm sorry, okay? I have nothing against you if you do like this music, and I'm not saying that it's objectively bad, but I'm just saying that's not my thing. I hear she goes through some changes, so I'm open to enjoying stuff in the future, but as of now, this is really not my stuff. This is not my style. I think that this is still a solid album, but I'm not ranking this of how objectively quality it is. I'm ranking this on my subjective opinion on whether or not I like the songs in the album. So, taking that into account, and I have to be honest here, okay? I'm gonna give it a D tier as well. I know. I don't plan on ranking every single album at D tier unless that's how I genuinely feel, but I didn't like this one, and I'm never gonna go back to it. So for that reason, I'm gonna give it a D tier, but I'm gonna put it right above the first one because I can tell there's some improvements. Sue me. Okay guys, so I just finished listening to Speak Now. This album, actually, I'm not even gonna cap on y'all. This album, 100% straight up for real, kind of a slapper. No, actually though, like, this one's not bad. The other two weren't bad either, I'm not trying to say that. I didn't like those. This one, I actually kind of like some of it. I think I'm gonna rank this one definitely higher than a D. I like the direction that it's going in. I still don't, like, love it, but I do think this one is honestly a lot better than the other two. I'm gonna give it a C. I'm gonna give it a C because it's very solid, but I think it can get a lot better. I'm excited to see what the other eras are. Alright, next up is Red. Like, this one goes so hard. So I just finished listening to the Taylor Swift album, and honestly, this is the best album by far, so far anyways. So I'm gonna give this one a B tier, very solid B tier. I think it's a banger, it has a lot of classics on it, but I think they can get better. So I have hope, and I honestly think this is gonna be a lot more enjoyable going forward. So I'm actually looking forward to it. In 2017, she released her album Reputation. This album was quite a switch up from her previous work. She described it as a goth punk moment of female rage, but Taylor is the pro at switching up her styles of music. I mean, that's kind of like her whole thing. Okay, so remember that record deal she signed earlier? That record deal is coming to an end, and as a part of the original deal, Big Machine Records owned her masters. Basically means that they owned all of the songs that she had put out, and they could limit how she used them and how she monetized them, and they could use them as they please as well. And so when Taylor went to go re-sign with them, she asked if she could buy them back, but they said no. So lucky for Taylor, she's smart, and she knew that they didn't really own the song, they just owned that version of the songs. So she simply got the band back together, re-recorded the songs, and then just released them as Taylor's version.
There was something that happened years ago where I made it very clear that I wanted to be able to buy my music. That opportunity was not given to me, so I just figured I was the one who made this music. First, I can just make it again. When something says in parentheses Taylor's version next to it, that means I own it.
I would mark this as the beginning of Taylor's recent come up. When she started releasing Taylor's versions of songs, people stood behind her in it, and they loved it. They got to revisit all the eras of Taylor's music. Plus, since her original recordings, she's become, a better artist. She just made a little bit better of a version of the song. And also, you're able to support someone who was able to get out of a manipulative record deal. Not everyone is able to get out of that. And while she was revisiting her old music and, redoing her old eras, she had the idea to make it into a tour, introducing the Eras Tour.
My name is Taylor, and welcome to the Eras Tour.
March of 2023, Taylor Swift started her Eras Tour. In this tour, she would go through and perform songs from her different eras, creatively transitioning outfits to fit the era as well. This tour was incredibly successful. Tickets sold out quick. So quick, in fact, that 2.4 million tickets were sold, and then Ticketmaster crashed, and then all the tickets were sold out, and people freaked out.
Why does stop moving? The website fully crashed. I waited in line for like 6 hours.
And of course, like with anything popular, people swoop in and buy a whole bunch of something at retail price and then resell it at insanely high margins. It happened with the PS5, and it definitely happened with the Eras Tour. Tickets were reselling for up to $92,000 for one ticket. What? I recently bought tickets to a comedy show, and for me and my friend to go, as well as paying for an Airbnb for the both of us for the night, we only paid $500 combined, just to kind of put it into perspective a little bit. But the thing is, people paid these insane prices because they love Taylor Swift. Like, they fucking love Taylor Swift. Now, I don't have a problem with Taylor Swift, and I don't have a problem with people who like Taylor Swift, but I have to say that some people take it way too far. People were freaking out when they didn't get tickets, like screaming and crying, and I can understand being a little disappointed, but this is like really absurd. It's not the end of the world. I'm sure she'll tour again, and if you really wanted to go, you could buy an obscenely marked up reselling of one, which I wouldn't recommend, especially if you can't afford it. Come on. No! Oh god, this site crashed. Wait, they're reselling $400,000? I don't have $400,000. I guess I could sell my kids. Kids, we're gonna go on a little trip. All right, today I've got a clear schedule. So I figured I would just, sit down and listen to multiple Taylor Swift albums. I'm actually looking forward to this a little bit now. Like, I at the beginning of this, I was not looking forward to this at all. But now I think there's gonna be some bops, some bangers, some slappers. So starting out with 1989, multiple songs in this album have over 1 billion streams. That's crazy. Gonna pay, shake, 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 shake. I just finished listening to 1989, and it sucks. No, I'm just kidding. I loved it, actually. Like, unironically, this one I enjoyed. I don't know if it was just the nostalgia or if it's just that this album is filled with slapper doodles, but this one was working for me. And honestly, this one's gonna be pretty high. This might be a bit of a shock, especially how this video started with me ranking everything at D tier. I'm gonna give this an S tier. This is an S-tier Taylor Swift album, in my personal opinion, okay? Let's move on to Reputation. Okay, interesting. This was like her first major switch up in styles of music. Let's give it a listen. Shake it off. Shake it off. Alright, I just finished listening to Reputation. Very good, okay? I don't think I liked it quite as much as 1989. I'm basically binge listening to these, and listening to them in this way does make them feel repetitive, and the change in the style so, like, drastically as well. It really made it feel refreshing and made it feel like a really great album. But I don't think I like it as much as 1989, just because there was some dull ones in there for me anyways. But I really loved the switch up here, and I loved the vibe of this one. So I'm going to give it a solid A tier. I feel pretty good about our ranking so far. Alright, I'm going to go take a nap for about 8 hours through the middle of the night. I like to call it sleeping. This morning, I'm going to listen to Lover by Taylor Swift. I just finished listening to the album Lover. I do think that it was better than some of her earlier work, in my opinion, but this album was not anywhere close to as good as 1989, and honestly, I don't think it was as good as Reputation either. It was yet another pretty drastic switch up from the last one. The Reputation sort of more like grainy, what's the word I'm looking for? Grainy, matte, like gothic kind of, to this one more like soft, I guess. This style's not as much for me, personally. While I do think there was some slappers in there occasionally, this one didn't have as many that I recognized or really liked that much. So I'm gonna give it a solid B tier. I think that's fair. I don't think this ranking is gonna be that controversial. I feel like it's fair. I guess we'll see. Now, people aren't only obsessed with Taylor's shows, though. They're obsessed with Taylor Swift as a person. When I was doing research for this video, I found a video by this girl who was literally breaking down every single one of Taylor's relationships or potential relationships that she's had thus far. And it was like an hour long. I don't know. This video just rubbed me the wrong way.
I've basically made a PowerPoint that is a timeline that will take us through all major career milestones, romance milestones, and drama milestones. If anybody ever forwards this video to Taylor Swift, she is not only well within her rights to enact a restraining order against me. I would suggest it. Like, if anybody did this about me, I would be like, go seek professional help.
Now, don't go send hate to this girl or anything like that, but I just think this is so absurd, and honestly, it's kind of creepy. I get being a huge fan of someone. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the YouTuber Cody Ko. Like, I'm literally wearing his merch. But that being said, like, I don't speculate about his personal life and then, like, cry and scream when I miss a limited time merch drop. I just move on. I also get being obsessed with something to the point where it's all you think about. I mean, I've felt that way about making YouTube videos ever since I was young. But when that obsession is with a person, it becomes really creepy. All right, so I mentioned how people are obsessed with Taylor's relationships, right? Recently, there's been a new relationship. It's been very big, and I honestly think it has a big part to play with Taylor's recent exposure as well. Now, I don't even think I have to say the name of this guy, but it's Travis Kelce, plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. I knew that off the head, didn't have to look at the script at all. So I've spent the past 500 hours studying their relationship and comparing it to all of Taylor's previous boyfriends and all of Travis's previous girlfriends. And then over the next 4 installments of this series, we're going to dive in depth. We're going to go detail by detail. In fact, I've actually been stalking them for the past 4 months, and I'm going to get an exclusive interview with them, whether they like it or not. No, in reality, I literally just looked up, like, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce relationship, and I, like, immediately found an entire timeline of their entire relationship, like, detail by detail. So I'm basically just gonna, like, regurgitate the relevant parts of it to you. So open up, baby birds, it's feeding time. All right, so apparently Travis showed up to one of Taylor's Eras Tour shows with a bracelet that he made for her with his number on it. And unfortunately for Travis, she never saw him.
She doesn't talk before or after her shows because she has to save her voice for the 44 songs that she sings. So I was a little butthurt I didn't get to hand her one of the bracelets I made for her. I wanted to give Taylor Swift one with my number on it.
Eventually, though, Taylor accepted an invite to one of his games. And next thing you know, they're holding hands and they're dating. Okay, now they're officially dating. This relationship has been very public, but it seems pretty real to me as far as I can tell. I mean, I don't really know. I'm not looking for that far into this. I don't really care. But it does have a very big part to play, I think, in Taylor's recent inescapable exposure, because she started showing up to football games. She even showed up at the Super Bowl. With purely her presence, Taylor brought a whole new demographic to football. Football brought a whole new demographic to Taylor, and she's reportedly added $330 million in brand value for the NFL and the Chiefs. That's, like, really significant for just showing up. Can you imagine if Taylor had, like, an actual deal with them, or, like, she was actually, like, being paid to promote it, or she was trying even? Like, she's literally just showing up, and she's generating, like, over 30% of $1 billion for the NFL. That's crazy as hell. It just goes to show how incredibly influential Taylor Swift is. Now, I do feel sort of bad for Taylor also here, because she's just trying to, like, live her life and just go, you know, watch her boyfriend's game. She's not trying to be super public about this. Now, I'm sure at this point, Taylor's probably used to all of this, but if it were me, I mean, I would be showing up to these games, like, it's just like, I'm not trying to be on camera, right? Just stop cutting to me. I'm just trying to watch this guy's game. I'm not here for publicity. People also started making cursed AI art of Taylor Swift at football games, and actually just Taylor Swift in general. Like, gross stuff. Like, I actually don't even know how they got AI to make this stuff, because I thought AI didn't let you do this type of thing. This is actually really messed up. Like, she didn't do these things. She didn't ask to be depicted doing these things. And they look pretty damn real. Who's sitting in their mom's basement, like, typing away, trying to prompt, like, Midjourney to make this monstrosity? What are you doing with your life? It's actually kind of scary. The internet is going to get to a place where we can't tell the difference between AI and not AI. And that's a little frightening, I won't lie. All right, we're about to listen to 3 Taylor Swift albums. I got Ryder here.
I'm here.
He wants to be here with me.
Be here, yeah.
He doesn't listen to Taylor Swift.
I don't listen to Taylor Swift.
Why not?
It's not personal.
What kind of music do you listen to?
Bluegrass. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna listen to 3 Taylor Swift albums. I'll pop them up right here. So we got Evermore, Folklore, and Midnight.
I'm gonna say this. I'm not against her. I just don't listen to her music.
Alright, so now we're on Folklore. This is a whole different vibe from Reputation, by the way. Yeah, 3 minutes. What, is that long?
Oh,
It's pretty normal. It's pretty average.
It's cringe, kind of, for me.
It's cringe. I feel like the more you listen to it, you appreciate it more. I'm learning to like it, okay?
Yeah, you're conditioning yourself.
Yeah.
I don't like this type of music.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't like this album as much as I've liked the other ones. Like 1989, it was bop after bop after bop. This one, it's a little bit calmer. It's more sad, it feels like.
Yeah.
More sad
I don't
vibe.
like this depressed shit. Move on.
Yeah, just get happier, Taylor. What are you doing? Expressing your sadness in song form? Yeah, no,
Shove it deep inside.
Shove it deep down. Stop expressing yourself, okay? No. This feels weird to listen to with you. Just a couple bros listening to like a sad love song. Oh my god! Holy shit. They told me all my cages were mental, so I got wasted like all my potential. Did she cook or is she yapping? That is the question, guys. You wanna play darts?
Yeah.
For once. Oh! I get one right in the wall, of course. Right in the wall.
Yeah. I'm trying to find like all the numbers.
Okay, dude, just imagine Taylor Swift's on that dartboard, okay? Whoa. Jeez, dude, calm down. Sasha, so what do you think about this Taylor Swift album? What are your thoughts?
Taylor Swift is a
Wow. She's got a mouth on her. That's it. That was Folklore by Taylor Swift. What do you think of that whole album?
Honestly, I wasn't listening to him much of it. The harmonica thing was kind of cool.
You like the harmonica?
That's honestly the only thing I liked about the whole thing. The whole.
Really? Yeah, I mean, to be honest, this one was a bit of a drag. If you're into this, good for you. But personally, it wasn't really hitting for me. I think I'm gonna give it a C tier.
Dang old C tier, man.
I'm gonna listen to Evermore now. Ryder didn't want to listen to any more albums with me. In like 3 hours, I'm gonna be watching the Eras Tour like concert movie showing like the whole tour. It's like 3 hours long or whatever, so I really gotta like grind to finish these last 2 albums so I can do that in time. But I'm actually unironically excited to watch that.
Sure you are.
No, I am, like genuinely, like I actually think it's gonna be interesting. Visually, I've heard it's appealing. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I've finished every single Taylor Swift album. Let me rank the last two. Evermore, it was alright. It was it was similar to Folklore. I didn't really like it that much. I'm gonna give it a C tier. Midnight was a little bit better. Still doesn't quite compare to the peak, in my opinion, but gonna give it a solid B tier. Alright, so let's recap. Taylor started releasing her Taylor's version of songs, and this really brought her back into the public eye over the past few years. She then launched her Eras Tour, which was insanely successful. Then, most recently, she started dating Travis Kelce, who brought a whole new audience to her, and the constant exposure of seeing her posted all over people's pages after showing up at a couple football games really contributed to Taylor's success. And at this point, Taylor is touring worldwide, absolutely crushing it. She literally caused an earthquake from one of her concerts because people were jumping so much. And I've heard that literally just her presence showing up somewhere to perform her music single-handedly boosts economies. Taylor Swift is one of, if not the most influential people right now, and I think she's got a long, flourishing road ahead of her. She's 34 years old and at the top of her career thus far. And I feel like from what I've seen of her, she's got a good head on her shoulders and seems to be in good health. Honestly, I might be becoming a Swiftie. Yo! Let's see what all that hype was really about. There's so many people there. It's the Reputation era. Whoa. This is so freaking cool. How did they do that? Alright, we moved downstairs. My mom wanted to watch with me. Say what's up, Mom. 1989. This is where all the hits come in. final thoughts on the Eras tour. I honestly really enjoyed it. Even though some of the songs weren't my personal favorites, it was still really entertaining in this format. Taylor and everyone who worked on it did a great job of making it very interesting visually. Though it was 3.5 hours, which was a little bit long, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all of it. I thought that it was super interesting to see Taylor go through all of her different eras, especially right after listening to all of her music, especially in my favorite eras, the Reputation and the 1989. I really liked those. Even the ones I didn't like as much, the Evermore, the set was awesome. So like it made up for it. Also, I have to point this out. How does she change outfits in like 3 seconds? Bro deserves a record. I really appreciate this movie and this whole performance. And while I don't think I would pay $92,000 to go see it, I really appreciate this, and I appreciate the music. I appreciate the person as well. I think Taylor Swift is a good person. I think she makes solid music, and I think that as an artist, part of her strength is her different eras, and I really like that she's embracing that. Since her eras are so different, from country music to, gothic rage or whatever she called it, to, her pop music and stuff like that, there's bound to be one era or one album or one song at least that you resonate with at least a little bit. I mean, honestly, like, Shake It Off goes so hard. Shake it off, doo-doo. Would I call myself a Swiftie? Yeah, I think I would.